Finally, in this video, I'd like to take a look at two slightly more involved examples. And when you first look at this problem in example 5, the 12x minus 3 plus 4x equals 2x minus 7 minus 11, you may be a little bit overwhelmed, but one thing that you should always keep in mind, since we are solving equations that are linear, you can only have two types of terms. You could have a term with an x, like 2x, or you could have a term that's just a number, like negative 11. You can only have these two different types of terms. That means that if you have more than two terms on one side of the equation, two of them have to be the same. For example, you have 12x and 4x. I shouldn't use the word the same. I should say they are like terms. They are either both terms that have an x, or like on the right side, they are both numbers. What this enables us to do is, before we get to the solving the equation part, we can first simplify the expressions on the left and the right to make our job easier. Now on the left, 12x plus 4x, 12 plus 4 is 16, so that's 16x. We still have the minus 3 equals 2x, and negative 7 minus 11 is negative 18. So when you have a lot of terms on one or both sides of the equation, it's not a bad idea to see, can I simplify this? Can I combine like terms? Because once I get to this point, this equation 16x minus 3 equals 2x minus 18 is not different than the equation we solved in example 4 in the previous video, right? We have x's on both sides of the equation. We could get rid of the 2x here by just subtracting 2x from both sides. So 16x minus 3 was the left side. We will subtract 2x equals 2x minus 18, and we will subtract the 2x from the right side. So 16x minus 2x is 14x. Still have the minus 3 equals the 2x minus 2x is 0, so just negative 18. And now x's are just on one side of the equation, so we are ready to isolate. We can get rid of the minus 3 by adding 3 to both sides, because we're undoing the subtraction of 3. So we will add 3 to the left, and we will add 3 to the right. So the subtracting and adding 3 will undo each other, giving us 14x equals negative 18 plus 3 is negative 15. And finally, we will divide both sides by 14. So 14x, I'll continue obviously here, divided by 14 equals negative 15 divided by 14. The 14s cancel, and x equals negative 15/14. Right? We can't simplify this fraction any further, so we can just write our answer as x equals negative 15/14. Let's take a look at another example. So in this example, example 6, we can also simplify the left and right side of the equation. Now, what we would do here is use the distributive property to remove the parentheses. And we can do it on both the left and the right side of the equation. So distributing the multiplication over addition, 3 times x is 3x, plus 3 times 6 was 18. We still have a minus 4. Notice we're not distributing 3 to the 4 because it wasn't in the parentheses. Equals Remember, the minus sign could be thought of as a -1. So we're really multiplying by -1. -1 times 3x is -3x. -1 times -2 is +2. And we have the +7x. Again, we're not distributing to it. It wasn't in the parentheses. And continuing the problem, we now have something that looks like example 5, the example we just did. We can combine the like terms here, and we can combine the like terms here. Don't get carried away with the combining of like terms. You can only combine like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign. Of course, you can't, for example, combine this 3x with this 7x. These are not part of the same expression. We have two separate expressions on either side of the equal sign. So continuing on the left, we have 3x. 18 minus 4 is 14, so +14 equals -3x plus 7x is 4x, and then +2. Well, now we know what to do. We have x terms on both sides of the equation. We can choose to subtract the 4x or subtract the 3x. In this case, I'm actually going to get rid of the 3x on the left. Again, you could go either way. I'm just choosing here to subtract the 3x instead of the 4x. Again, mathematically, no big deal. So 4x plus 2 minus 3x. We are canceling the 3x's because 3x minus 3x is 0, giving us 14 equals 4x minus 3x is 1x plus 2. And now we're going to isolate the x, so we will undo the addition of 2 by subtracting 2 from both sides. So 14 minus 2 equals x plus 2 minus 2. Well, 14 minus 2 is 12, and the plus 2 minus 2 cancels. So there is our answer, x equals 12. All right, so now you know how to solve linear equations, even when x's are on both sides, even when there are a lot of steps, because you know how to use the distributive property and you know how to combine like terms to simplify your expressions.